lots to go over, different markets to go over as well. So like I said, anything you want me to go over, make sure you write it here. I'm just gonna go in order though. I'll go through a market by market. So if you list out something here, I'll make sure I can take a look. Yeah, let's check the chart exactly. So it's exactly 23 o'clock GMT now. So why don't we get started? Like I always, I'll go over the positions that I'm in, and then we'll get started with the outlook. Okay. So I'm in Bitcoin now. We talk about Bitcoin when we broke that previous high 20,000 level. And remember, when I see this bullish push up, I mentioned I want to see a continuation correction. Although this wasn't as big as something that I want to expect of, but nevertheless, we did form a continuation and we continue higher. And this was pretty much the confirmation I need to understand that we can see just another bullish push up from Bitcoin, right? Understand that we broke that previous level, the 20,000 level, and the previous all-time swing high, and this continuation correction gives you that confirmation that we're going to see the next bullish trend. And I'm happy with the next continuation that I'm going to see. I mentioned it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to see a continuation correction after this confirmation here. So this is a simple trade here. Even in my opinion, it was more of a pretty generous stop loss in this area. Happy to take a entry order just above this continuation correction here, and then just set the stop loss below the low here. I think it's 1600 or so. So I think this just happened through the weekend and just continue going up. Like I always, when price breaks above previous high, I already set my stop loss to break even, and then price continued to going up. So I moved my stop loss to one-to-one profit now, and that's probably much where I'm just going to hold it. I'm happy to see what's going to happen here. Is it going to form bigger correction and we'll just continue going higher? Then we'll just let that happen. If not, we'll just see if this is all we're going to need and we're just going to continue higher, right? There's no more correction after this. Either way, I'm happy to just let the trade let the trade run, because to me this is more of a long-term kind of hold or investment rather than a trade I would do on currency pairs and whatnot. So something like this is I'm happy to just secure my stop loss. I know I'm not going to be a loss, and then I could just be observed to see what will happen in the next weeks or month and things like that. All right, so that is what I see on Bitcoin here. So pretty happy with the overall kind of opportunity that I got. I did get into this, but I was certainly looking at something like this once we pass all that level. But just couldn't catch that. But this is, again, just that confirmation that I was looking for. I'm happy to take the next available trade, understand my risk I'm involved in. And even if this takes me out, even if it takes me out but just forms a deeper correction, then I'll still be in looking for the buy, right? And that's my plan all along. So make sure you have a plan, make sure you know how to execute it so it doesn't, you don't get the emotion trapping you. So the second trade I'm in is sugar. I'm still in sugar. I mentioned this uh, last week in the outlooks and as well. Um, Pretty simple trade. We talk about this, for a couple of weeks now. We've been seeing sugar continue to climb up ever since the bottom that we hit from the COVID. And then price has just been this kind of reversal, kind of price action all along. We have this pretty much several key continuation correction here. I think some of you guys may got it. I personally got in here, but just the trade I didn't capitalize fully. So I was just making, I think it was a break even or just one-to-one. But now it's just another opportunity. We have this bullish push to the upside and clear kind of continuation correction. And I waited for a breakout after and then a continuation correction to get in. So very simple, just one of my entry I always talk about. And once this tries push up to the upside, pushing the before previous high, then again set my stop loss to break even. It's always in my risk management plan. And looking to see what the price would do at the previous top. This is the previous top before COVID happens. So I'll be eager to see if we can just see continuation push up the price, or if it's going to start forming reversal or kind of bearish price action, I'll look to move my stop loss and happy to exit with a little bit of profit and see what will happen. But personally, ultimately, I'm seeing that if we get all this bullish momentum to just push up before above the previous high, then my bias is certainly just waiting for a bigger correction where it just continue going up and we're going to end all this consolidation that's been happening right? This was the pretty strong bearish phrase, and all of this is just a consolidation phase and looking to just reverse all this price back up. That's my point on sugar. Again, that's the trade and Bitcoin. Those are only two trades I'm in for now. But certainly a lot of pairs are showing up now, especially some currency pairs that I'll go over. But looking pretty clean for a reversal on the dollar pairs. Okay, so two trades. Let's go over some of the. So any question on these guys, just let me know. If not, I'll start going through the commodity markets first, and then we'll just jump to other different markets afterwards. Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure Kiwi Cat I'll talk about, yes. XRP, I can talk about that afterwards. And yeah, I'll go through all those Forex solutions. So Cat Swiss, Pound Kiwi, Euro Swiss. On Friday, I found my old BTC wallet. So you must be balling now, huh, with the push. All right, so no question on the positions. Let's go through some of the commodity pairs. Someone asked me to go over natural gas, so I'll certainly do that. So this is what I see on natural gas. I like how we're in this similar kind of continuation correction that we've seen, similar like sugar. We have this kind of larger kind of channel you can call or parallel channel. It's just correcting the price in this kind of fashion. So you understand that all this bullish price action that just happened, it's needed to correct itself. So all this correction is just building up momentum for the next available bullish run. So I do like what I'm seeing here. It's not quite clear when this correction will be over yet. This can just come up to here and just goes back once more, like what we have seen in the past. So it's the safer side would be just kind of waiting to see what this overall kind of consolidation will do. Can we ultimately see a breakout from here and then continue up to the upside? I think this is just going to be the safer side to look for entry. I'm sure there's going to be lower time frame entries here in the middle as well. Personally, I would be looking for something like this. Okay, on the higher time frame, it is clear that we are potentially forming a continuation like flag or channel, right? And we do have lots of room to the upside to the next previous top. There is really no other kind of previous swing high except kind of this area. But I do see if we get the momentum to continue, this could go all the way to the previous top. Okay, so looking to see what will happen in the upcoming week. Nothing is ready yet. All this bullish move, we have seen this in the past, right? All these bullish moves are not really breaking out of this overall structure. So key here is to be a little bit more patient to wait for a little bit more confluence for the buy. So talk about sugar just earlier as well. So sugar just waiting to see if we can break that previous high and continue higher. We'll talk about silver. Silver is still kind of on my watch list. Recall that I talked about silver since at the end of 2020 was looking to see if we get some sort of reversal kind of price action in this area. I like how we're in this overall kind of parallel channel. We have a very good characteristic of a structure, right? We're seeing potential reversal. We see some bearish move on the lower time frame. But is this some sort of correction to go down? I don't think it is. It's still not clear what it's going to do here. So keep an eye on this. This can just push up to here to form a double top, and then we can start dropping down like this, forming some sort of ascending channel, or this can just continue higher, and all this structure may not be valid anymore. So it's key to be a little bit more patient to wait what will happen here. And the lower time frame will always give you a little bit more clarity, right? Um, this looks like a structure to me, but again, closer to the end of the last week, closer to New Year's, the markets tend to be slower. So it's better to wait for this week when market opens, when all the things, let's say when New York session opens, we'll see a little bit more volume, a little bit more movement, then we can be a little bit more leaning towards that sell that I'm looking for. Pound dollar, I'll go over that after in the currency. Hello, hello, hello. So last one to go over is gold. So gold, I think some of you guys were asking about this as well in the chat. Right now it looks like we're breaking above this overall channel, right? And I talk about don't rush it or jump into these kind of trades. This is where traders get trapped, right? Talk about breaking the trend line means nothing. It's about how the price is doing. So on the lower time frame here, we're seeing a pretty strong bullish move to pushing to the upside, which is all good, right? This is what you want to see from the price if we're looking for higher time frame continuation. I talk about my bias on gold. It's still going to be bullish. We have been in this kind of bullish move since the bottom, right? We have impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. So we're just moving in a very good uptrend, and we finally see a bigger, longer, deeper consolidation. This is just going to add a confluence to us who are looking for the buy. This consolidation, once it's finished, can very likely to push the price to all previous top as well. But is this finish here? I personally think it's not. You want to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to things like this, because there's nothing wrong with price action structure when it just kind of start reversing all the way back down here and then still take off. And structurally, nothing changes. This is still a continuation for all this bullish move. So how to look for confirmation? Like I said, breaking out here, well, you want to wait for a clear kind of breakout, something that's strong momentum, something that clearly shows that we're in this next lower time frame bullish kind of price action, bullish kind of impulse, and look for continuation on the lower time frame. That's will be confirmation for me to be looking for the buy, right? And whatever how you get it, even just to the previous top here, I do think there's enough risk reward here, at least 3 to 1 or something like that to be able to get, and will be a good trade if you're looking for gold to hold longer term. Certainly, the higher time frame to me, the bias is the buy, right? Once this correction finishes. Okay, everyone. So that's what I see on gold and a couple other commodities. Any question? Let me know. If not, I'll go into the crypto really quick. XRP will get, I guess you mean deleted on a few exchange on 12th of this month. I don't think any TA can help with that. Just wait till the news is over. Yeah, I'll go over Ripple. I do have some thoughts on Ripple, so I'll go over that. Am I sick? No, I'm not. Thank you for asking. No, I have nose allergies. When it comes to something like this, my nose has always been bothering me. So, but thank you though. I'm not sick. Appreciate it. So let's go into crypto with no other question on commodity markets. So Bitcoin, like I said in the beginning, this is a trade I'm in. What's my approach now? Well, like I said, are we going to form deeper correction here? If it forms deeper correction here, then this is certainly another buy, in my opinion. So if you're not in Bitcoin, if you're looking for something like that, don't just jump in, on something, on the 5 minute. You see all this happen is just like that's kind of trapping a lot of buyers in, right? A lot of buyers are haste when prices shooting up. They're trying to jump in and they're just getting stopped out in this area. Same thing as in this area, in my opinion. So how to successfully, don't get emotion is waiting about correction, right? You see, when price broke out from the previous high, I wasn't rushed to jump in. I was saying that I'll just wait for a clear continuation correction to jump in, right? If Bitcoin is going to continue going up, it's going to go up, right? There's always going to be opportunities to jump in. So how I see what price is doing now, once this is, Asia market opens and, everything is kind of back on track on 2021, are we going to form a correction here? Okay, wait for a correction here. This would be a valid buy in my opinion. We've already been pushing up, so this is a bullish impulse. We're just waiting for another continuation correction to continue push the price up. So But right now, I'm not seeing anything here. I'm certainly don't even think this is a valid buy to me. This almost looked like it's forming a head and shoulder as well. So you gotta remember that what the price action is telling you. Okay. So don't jump into these until you see something clear as something like this, right? You see a structure, you need to have at least a few swing highs and few swing lows, right? That's how the price is able to correct itself to push up. Okay. So Ethereum has also been moving up. Remember I talked about this was a potential valid continuation correction for the buy. Not sure some of you guys may get in, but pretty much impulse up all the way, right? We feel see on the higher time frame, we clearly just impulsively break above the previous high, which is great. You know, this is full on going to be a bullish trend now. So the management approach again is we need a little bit of consolidation, right? We need a little bit of a correction here if it's going to continue going up. You don't want to get trapped in here where you're just gonna, blindly buy in here, where you're just gonna see a little bit of pullback here and then just continue the trend afterwards. And you're gonna be very, very emotional when that happens. So same thing approach as Bitcoin. If you didn't catch it here or whatever, or this lower time frame correction here, that waiting for another correction here, right? Because you can see all this price here is a little bit erratic, right? It's trying to form something here, but it just continue pushes up. So you want to wait for something that's going to show you that it's going to continue, right? Whether big or small, but preferably something that's going to be slightly bigger, something like this, right? Something is structured like this, and then you can be looking for the buy again, right? This you clearly we see clearly price break the previous high very impulsively, so this is a very good sign for continuation. Okay, so looking for something here, guys. Looking for something here for the buy would be ideal. All right, so don't jump in unless you see confirmation here. So that's Ethereum. Let's go to Litecoin. I think Litecoin, some of you guys got in. You guys private message me for the buys there, which is great. So this is what I see on Litecoin. We've been going up massively, right? I remember one guy got in here. This was first available buy here. I personally missed a buy here. I remember I went over this in my trade recap video. This was certainly a buy for me. I just wasn't at the chart at the time, and then clearly price continued bullish push up and then form a continuation correction. We just push up once more. And what's good about is that we broke the previous high impulsively. This is exactly what I was kind of looking for, is a little bit of consolidation here. We push the price up, which is exactly what happens now. So you want to wait for a continuation, and we're just going to push up to the next level. All right, so very clearly that we're going to be in this bullish trend now. What it is, how we're going to capitalize on it. So looking to the lower time frame, we know that we've been breaking up already, which is great. We broke this previous high level. This is where this line is the previous level. Let me see if I can show you. So we broke this high, which is good, and now all we want to see is a continuation here now, right? We've been bullishly move up all this since. Look at all these continuation correction that the price is for. Just looks very textbook to me that we're just going to get in that next bullish run. So certainly looking for a continuation here to the next high would be very probable in my opinion. Uh, did I look at Bitcoin? I did already actually. Yeah, they're all very similar. Yes, you're right, Robert. They're all in very bullish trend. There's nothing to it, all this one as I'm going over because all the price that we're seeing is just very structurally and very, very similar across the board, right? We're just full on in the bullish move now. Okay, so this is the time to really capitalize on this on the V's, right? And it's just rather, choosing one or choosing a few as long as the price action gives you the opportunity, then, there's certainly buys everywhere in my opinion. Okay, these are all the buys that, in my opinion, is very valid. But I didn't get in any of them, right? Because that is just how trading is. Sometimes you're going to miss, sometimes you're not going to miss, but I managed to get in the other ones, and that's how it is, right? And it's all about your perspective on it. Is that You can be upset that you missed some of the entry, or you can be graceful now that price breaks the previous high level now. And if I get continuation here, I'm looking for the next buy. And this buy will just be better than this buy and the previous buy and the previous buy, right? There's just better confluence now because of how the price has been behaving. Okay, and now that we know that we can be fall on into a bullish kind of trend now, you can be looking for holding these for a longer period of term, and they'll work out for you pretty good. Bitcoin, yeah, I mean, if I don't know if yeah, some of you guys may be new, but I've been talking about when Bitcoin. I said when we break that previous high level, right? This is a post I made. Don't jump in the trade, because what you want to do is you want to wait for confirmation. Okay, there's a previous high, all-time swing high around 19,000 level before the crash, if you guys recall, and then there's this 20,000 level where people are kind of looking for. So when price break above this, like I said, don't jump in the trade, because what you need is a confirmation from the markets, a structure, a pattern where it tells you that it's going to continue, right? It may not be the size of this, it may not be the size of this, but it's certainly going to form a continuation. We're going to take off afterwards. And this is kind of the last confirmation that I always look for. And now that after we get that from the market, right, this is that same structure I just pointed out. And any after bullish move followed by continuation is just going to be valid in my eye, right? And I understand the risks involved. Like I said, is that even if this trade takes me out for a loss, but my bias will still be the buy regardless. We're just going to wait for a deeper consolidation, a deeper correction. I would still be looking for the buy. Right? My plan doesn't change because I end up taking a loss. I don't, get emotion because the trade didn't take off. It's more you understand that this may not be all it is that it needed to go up. We might be seeing a little bit deeper structure or even a deeper structure, but nevertheless, we're still going to see the upside afterwards. Uh, let's continue. So I finished Litecoin, right? I want to go over Stellar. Stellar is certainly, I'm still looking at this. I made a post from before when the price was at this area. It just didn't continue to break up from the structure I originally had in mind. But looking back at this, looking more on a higher time frame perspective, I see that the potential kind of a flag or channel, so to speak, that's in the making, that's still correcting this bullish move. So what I'm seeing here on the lower time frame is that we had this impulse, a bearish impulse down, and as I say many times, is when you see a strong, let's say, bearish impulse down, but you didn't see a continuation to push down, instead you see a bullish impulse also, like a reversal impulse, followed by a period of consolidation. Very likely that we're going to see that continuation from the price. Okay, and I like what I'm seeing here as well. This bigger, higher time frame may be finished. We're looking at a potential completion of the structure, uh, and just seeing what will happen in this area. We have this kind of a falling wedge or kind of a descending channel, whatever you want to call it. But nevertheless, we're seeing a correctional structure, a correctional phrase here, which is good. Right? We want to see a correctional phrase after we just see a bullish impulse. And looking here on the lower time frame, can we form a continuation on the lower time frame here? And then we can look for price to push up to at least the top of the structure here. And then if we have enough momentum, then we're just going to fall on get into a bullish move. Right? We have been, if you look at the higher time frame perspective, we have been all in this kind of period of consolidation for a while now, right? Price was very active before that, and then a period of consolidation. And the longer this period of consolidation goes, the likelier we're going to see a reversal from this. Okay, so all this period of time is just waiting for price to build up enough momentum. We see this strong bullish push up already. If this is going to be all the consolidation, all the correction we need, we can potentially see the next push up. So that's what I see on Stellar, XLM. And someone asked about Ripple, right? Yeah, talk about Ripple really quick. Um, I know there's some news about Ripple. I know there's all these things going on. So I'm not too interested in it, I'll be honest. I was interested in the buy with you guys' call. I did take a loss here as well when I looked for a buy here to continue. Just didn't have that momentum, and then we have all this news things regarding Ripple. Personally, I'm just not seeing too much anymore because I was originally looking at Ripple to just fall on getting into the next kind of bullish run, right? This is a similar idea. We have all this descending kind of structure. Price has been consolidating all this time. And then finally, we see this impulse, correction impulse. And if this is all the consolidation, then we see that strong push up once again. And I think it was very clean for me to just looking for a continuation while the price was in this area to continue higher. It just did not end up working for this particular trade. And since price already dropped down to pretty much where it begins, and really I'm not seeing much at all in this opinion. Of course, this can still develop in give it weeks or months, but there's really no buy in my opinion or the sell at this point. Price has been pushing down ever since, and all this is not enough to justify a buy for me at all. Okay, so that's Ripple for me. That's how I see on Ripple. OMG USDT. Um, this is what I see. This is the first time I'm looking at this, so I'm just kind of giving what I see. Um, Even though, I'm assuming that you'd be looking for a buy or something like that, but because this price has been pushing down like this, I don't really favor the buy. We can see that we have this bullish push up, and but there's a period of this where it's just kind of consolidating. I remember I was looking for a buy here when price, push up and form like a parallel channel, and this could be there's a correction for all this move. But you see price continue to move up and just kind of reverse down afterwards. So I'm not really seeing any buy at the moment. And we just kind of break the previous low as well. And it's forming potentially a continuation that this can just continue down more and more. And that's why I'm not too interested in this to be looking for a buy here. Um, DOT. Which broker do you use to look at? Why is it? How come I keep seeing different things? Okay. Okay, anyways, any question, guys? Any question on any of the crypto before I start jumping into other ones? So again, I'm looking at XLM for potential buy if we get some sort of correction here or a little bit more development, so to speak, in this area. Uh, Litecoin is looking very good. I'm looking for a continuation here to continue going higher. I think this will look great to be getting in. Last one, Bitcoin that I'm still in. Like I said, waiting for a structure here would be nice if you haven't get into Bitcoin yet. Okay. BSV is that crypto? personally, I don't really like how this period has just been consolidating. If I'm looking at this at the first time, I see this as a sharp impulse down, and this looks like a head and shoulder pattern. And what I don't like it is just this period consolidation. Okay, and I'm not seeing any kind of bullish move yet. Okay, so EOS, I'm not seeing too much, I think, on EOS. Yeah. Um, Again, it's kind of similar thing. I don't like how we've been just kind of in this consolidation still. I'm not seeing much here on the higher time frame at least, because we're still just in the period consolidation. If we just zoom out here on the higher time frame, nothing yet kind of giving me a buy signal like something like, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, something that just looks clearly that we're in the bullish trend now, right? Same thing with Litecoin. Clearly, we're in the bullish trend, right? Whereas the other ones, I'm not seeing too much yet, right? This is just more consolidation, more kind of corrective period. That's why I'm not too favoring these ones. You won't find much info on that. Yeah, exactly. So that's all the crypto ones. Let's jump into currency now. Let's jump into currency now. I have a bunch that's on watch that I think can work out, can shape up to something. So I'll go over the ones that I favor first, and I'll jump into a few ones that you guys request. So let's talk about dollar index here. Dollar index here on the higher time frame. We're getting very close to the previous low now, so this is an area to watch out for. And right now, looking at here, this is certainly not enough to justify a buy yet. Okay, nothing has developed yet into that, but I will be looking closely to see what the price is doing here. Okay, I think has a tendency to have one of these reversal structures in the making. Not yet complete, but in the making, we are seeing signs of expanding structure. We're seeing an inverse head and shoulder pattern as well, and we're seeing a potential kind of flag continuation from this move. So clearly, for me, is waiting for a complete breakout and then continuation correction to give me a good confirmation that we could potentially see the dollar reverse from this point forward. But there's a few things, like I said, I need to see before I will consider that dollar strength coming in. Okay, at least for dollar index here. So that gives us an idea where other dollars are at. I do see a lot of other dollars that could shape up to something, but I do also think they need to form, giving me the confirmation price action on the lower time frame, things like that. So let's look at Aussie dollar here. Aussie dollar, I made a post here. I think it's very clean that we're in this overall kind of parallel channel structure or ascending channel structure that you can count. We're just correctly moving the price up. I think this period, last bar here, is very corrective as well in a small ascending channel. So we push up here now, and then we're at the top of the overall price action, which is great. Um, we had this kind of an M cell pattern, so reason double top, price push down, and then waiting to see what will happen in this area. Okay, we're slowly getting potentially a structure here. Okay, I think this is certainly a potential sell if someone is interested in something like this. I think a little bit more needed if you want to be a little bit more confirmed. We can either wait for a push up from the price. If we can push up to the top here, if price is kind of continue push up during Asia session, and in the London session when there's a little bit more momentum, a little bit more volume, we could see push up, push down for this point, and then just drop down once more. Okay, that would be also an entry in my opinion, or entry here is also uh, valid in my opinion. Okay, and those of you who are a little bit more cautious, then could be waiting for a complete breakout from here and then continue lower. Okay, either way, if we do get this move breaking out and followed by a continuation, I certainly see this going all the way down to the previous low. Okay, so whether you capture here in this area or you capture in this area, there's going to be great reward in these areas. Okay, so don't rush to trades if you're not sure. If there's no setup, if there's no entry, don't just jump into trade like these. All right. let's go on to Kiwi dollar. Ripple I already went over. Uh, So Kiwi dollar here looks very similar like Aussie dollar, right? We had this kind of expanding structure that we're prices in. Um, Again, we climbed up in this format, but you can really see that there's a small ascending channel as well within this here. We're at the top here, and then lower time frame. I like how there is a push down for the price. If there's going to form a continuation here, I do think this is a good sell as well. Very similar like Aussie dollar that I just went over. And if we just get pushed down more and more and more, there's also going to be certain correction to get in as well. And ultimately, if we zoom out here on the higher time frame, there's a lot of room if we get the price to continue, reverse out of this structure, then we know that this is clearly a reversal correction now, and we see price push down and then continue down from here, certainly going to form another continuation to push the price down to the low, completing the overall higher time frame structure, and then potentially going down more as well. Okay, so there's going to be possibilities and entries as well, but it's all about just giving the price a little bit more time to develop what it should do in order to look for a sell bias from this top of the overall price action. Okay, so that is Kiwi dollar. So let's go over Euro dollar. Euro dollar is also looking good for a potential sell. Um, I like how we're in the top of the overall price action now. If we zoom out here, um, we've been kind of just moving up in this overall kind of you can call a rising wedge or a kind of ascending kind of structure. Nevertheless, we're seeing a potential completion. You can see that this last bit of the price is rather corrective, right? Every time when I say corrective, when we're potentially finish a higher time frame structure, it's always good to be looking for that possible reversal. Uh, so I see a few options in this. I see that this is a clear small ascending channel within this ascending channel. And if we form a small correction here and we push out of this channel, it's good to look for a continuation here to push down. I think that's one way of seeing a potential entry. Whereas if we just kind of bounce off this area and then push up once more, structurally nothing changes. We're still in this structure, and look for doing in the Lenten or New York session for that reversal down and then continue downwards as well. So those are the two kind of the sell options I'm looking at for now, and then see if we get that, the next kind of day or so when the momentum comes in. So that's euro dollar. Let's continue. Dollar cat. Someone asked me to do dollar cat. I do still favor dollar cat for a potential reversal. It's just that as I see this correction continue to kind of just drags down a little bit longer or deeper, the more I'm losing interest of it, because when I see this structure first as a reversal, we push up. That's good that we see the bullish push up, and as always, I'm looking for a bullish kind of continuation structure, continuation correction. And as you see this continue to drag on deeper and deeper and deeper, there's just a tendency to kind of just fall all the way back to the bottom now, which is very clear now, and then potentially just dropping down more, right? Unless we see price just very, very correctively pushing down. And then, like I said, during the high volume time, we see a push up once again, and we'll continue up this way. But not likely to see that right now. It's just kind of what I see here on the lower time frame. Not liking this bit of the price action. I think there's a couple other dollar pairs that are looking better now. Whereas a week ago or 2 weeks ago, when I see um, dollar cat in this kind of area, I say dollar cat was a better dollar pair to be looking for that dollar strength. But as the price continue to develop, as the structure and as the price action, as the structure continue to evolve, then things may look more presentable or things may not look presentable, right? So that's kind of how when you do your forecast, when you do your analysis every day, um, you categorize them. You categorize the similar pairs because all these dollar pairs will be presentable, but are you going to take all the dollar pairs or are you just going to take one or two, right? That's kind of how I keep the risks at a minimum. I certainly won't be entering $4 or $5 pairs. I will be looking for one or two max, maybe just one, depending on what price action develop into. Um, dollar Swiss. Someone talk about dollar Swiss. Someone asked me about dollar Swiss on somewhere. Let's take a look here. Again, this was looking good when it was in this kind of descending channel, and this was similar with like dollar cat at the time. I had this breakout. I was again saying if there's going to be a continuation. Instead, we didn't get that, so that's why it becomes really not on my watch list anymore, because it didn't have that better kind of lower time frame correction that I was looking for. It could still work out. It could be for me here, but again, now it just currently versus the other dollar pairs I just went over, I do see Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, they're just shaping up to be a little bit better for that dollar strength. Okay, so that's dollar Swiss. Want to go over. Let's jump into a few Aussie pair now, because a few of the Aussie pairs are looking very good for reversals. All right. Aussie CAD is certainly one of them. I do like where we are at overall price. We are seeing clearly on the higher time frame that this is the previous swing high area, and we could potentially forming a double top, which is good. And again, not just going to short and whatever when it just hit the top, right? As I always mention, you want to look for a lower time frame confirmation. So going down here on the lower time frame, you're seeing this ascending channel, correcting the price to that double top, which is always a good sign for the market, indicating that all this bullish move may not continue, and we're at the top of the overall price now. We could potentially see reversal, right? The double top may came into effect. So to confirm all this is this bearish push down is great. Preferably see a correction here to push out the price, completing this ascending channel that we're seeing, and then look for this continuation correction to the lows. Either to the lows here would be okay, to the previous low of this expanding structure would be also nice. Excuse me, guys. Any question, guys, so far? Just let me know if you guys have questions, if I'm going too fast for you guys. So that's Aussie CAD. Aussie Swiss I also want to go over because it's also looking very clean and very similar, right? If we zoom out higher time frame, we're again at this previous swing high now. We could potentially see this double top. It's all about how the price behave when you get to this area, right? Just because we break above it doesn't mean that we're still going to fall going to a bullish move. And this is how, in my opinion, the market traps a lot of impatient buyers, impatient traders. We're at a double top here, but price is not, moving up impulsively. It's moving very correctively, and we're seeing a lot of these lower time frame signs that we could get these reversal, right? And lower time frame here, we have this larger ascending channel, we have this smaller ascending channel, and looking for a breakout from this overall price action out of this correction would be nice, and ultimately just looking for a continuation to the lows here. Okay, so that's all these Swiss I'm seeing. Many of these Aussie pairs, can play out. I think they all look pretty good. Aussie yen is pretty much the last one I do want to go over as well. Aussie yen. So let me just zoom in a little bit. I like how this overall structure that we're in is a very likely like expanding structure that I talk about. Clearly, we're having a tendency of a structure. Again, we don't have to reach all the way to the top. This is one kind of option that price may do. We have been moving up in this ascending channel though, which is great. We're hitting this previous top, so as a potential double top. And this is at the top of the structure now, which is great. So there's two options, again, like I always mentioned. If we see a strong breakdown from here, which is good, and continuation to the lows will be nice. Or if we just kind of push up from this, don't get discouraged now, because price is likely just reacting to this top of this higher time frame structure. and we can potentially see reversal down from here as well. I think both method or both entries will work. It's just what the price present to you at the time when it forms that. All right, euro dollar I already went over. Okay, very simple is looking for a potential sell, looking to see what the price will do in this overall area. Is it going to break off on this ascending channel and then look for a continuation down, or we see the price gets pushed up to the top here, top of this smaller ascending channel and top of the higher time frame structure that we're in, potentially looking for the sell as well. Okay, so that's euro dollar. Aussie dollar, I went over as well. Okay. Um, Again, there's two options. Looking for a correction here, if it's going to form, would be the first option to push down, or if it's going to move up once more, again, letting price to kind of consolidate, moving up, and then a correction to push down from here. But those of you who are a little bit more cautious, then just wait for price to push down from here. A deeper confirmation correction to push down would be also nice. So there's just certainly many potential entries, right? It's just whether or not they suit you as a trader, and then again your risk tolerance when it comes to something like this. I'm sorry, guys. I keep sneezing, but I have to. I don't want to keep uh, sneezing in front of you. So let's continue. I was on cat yen, right? So let's continue to cat yen. Short-term bearish certainly can lead into long-term bearish as well, right? Structurally, anything is possible. We're at the top of the overall price. If we look at the higher time frame here, we have been in this ascending channel as well from the higher time frame. We zoom back out, this could be the previous kind of swing high area. Certainly not a double top now. It's just kind of the swing high area I'm looking at. Depends on what price will do here on the lower time frame. If it just breaks out and then continue on the higher time frame, certainly can be the long-term move, right? But everything has to start from the lower time frame first, and this is key here where price has been behaving now. So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on Kiwi dollar as well, and Euro dollar as well. All right. DLT, I think I went over that, didn't I? Yeah, not much I'm seeing. If you're looking, this is very similar like Bitcoin, right? We already pushed up from this previous kind of structure already. So if you didn't get in from the bottom, there's probably lower time frame corrections. But I didn't even look at this. So when you look back at it, these are also corrections that potentially are continuation, and we've been through all this consolidation already. So all these corrections are looking like continuation to me, right? So if you're looking for a buy, looking for more continuation would be nice. So let me continue. Okay, so guys, don't jump. Let's continue with the currencies here. Cat yen still look pretty clean. If you guys recall, I was able to get in one position here, but I got stopped on this one. So just a break even on this on my trade recap. Uh, this is interesting because we're forming this kind of a parallel channel, kind of a flag, so to speak, right? Impulse correction, looking for the next impulse. Looks very clean for me. Even if you zoom out here, uh, don't be discouraged again when prices correcting itself. We moved down pretty massively, right? If you look at this, almost $2 worth, right? So 200 pips here. So likely we're gonna see a little bit of a consolidation here before we're going to continue, right? And always understand when you have a plan to enter these, there's obviously scenarios where you get stopped out. But if you know the higher time frame structure, you know the higher time frame is still favored for a sell. It's just whether or not you keep an eye on this, and then when the opportunity presents itself, you're still looking for the sell. All right. So I like how we still have lots of room to the downside. That's why this is still one of my preferred go-to yen pairs. looking for this to complete, looking for a continuation, and then down to the previous low, and then potentially completing the structure that we're in. Right, this is higher time frame. We're in this overall kind of consolidation. We had that double top. We had this rising kind of structure, ascending channel, impulse down, continuation, continue down afterwards. Euro yen. So Euro yen pretty much play out exactly how I see this now. And what I like about where Euro yen now is this is that good confirmation that we could be seeing as a reversal kind of correction. And if we get a little bit more bearish price action here, I do see this continue down lower. We see that this is a clear double top levers that the price is reacting to. Originally, I had the structure looking more of an expanding structure, but as the price continued to develop, as we see this last bit of price action, we see this kind of ascending channel or a rising wedge, so to speak, and on the lower time frame, push down, continuation, push down, right? And all this move is good. We're pushing down pretty impulsively now, and I had this kind of on the weekend, was looking at this, thinking if we can get a correction just at the bottom of the structure, would be nice to continue lower, or we just wait to see what price did exactly here. We push down and kind of push up, which is what it's doing now. And we could just kind of push down once more and looking for a correction after we break out of this overall kind of a ascending channel as well. All right, so certainly see the possibility of this one. If you zoom out on the higher time frame, we're at the top of the overall price action now, as I always say, right? This is looking like an M style pattern as well. So a double top, top of the overall structure, seeing that reversal down will be nice. Right, we have already been moving down all this already. We had this expanding structure, and this is just kind of last bit of price action that's trying to form and looking to continue that bearish kind of move. Would you place a sell stop at this moment to readjust it on CAD yen? I would not because I'm not seeing a sell yet. I like how structure is forming, but I would want to wait till a breakout and a smaller correction. And I'll put a stop somewhere like this if I'm looking for a sell stop. Right now, nothing. I won't even put a sell stop here because I think this stop loss is too wide. It's not like the same as I entered, which is the original one I trade, which is a higher because we're at the top of the overall price action. Is the first continuation correction, so I'm fine with that. Whereas this is a deeper continuation correction now. I don't think the stop loss is too wide for me to justify the trade. I'd rather wait for that breakout and then continue downwards. Uh, Pound dollar, please. Yeah, there's reason why I don't have pound dollar on my watch because I don't like. I think every week I will talk about pound dollar and kind of mentioning the same thing. Is just I don't like all this price action that's been happening since the all this Brexit news, right? And even though on the higher time frame, it's pretty clear that I'm looking for a sell, and I do see the sell will come. It's just that I don't prefer all this price action. It's just too erratic and too news driven, so to speak, right? All this kind of you see all these kind of moves, they're pretty strong impulses, and there's just like no correction to follow. So it's just erratic all over the place. You know, there's previous kind of double top. People are shorting from here, from here. Either way, all these are just kind of short lived because you see price just all bounce back afterwards. So certainly a sell can be building up here and then the sell may drop down to here, but can just bounce back once more. And this can just goes on indefinitely, which is has been in the past. And that's why I'm not favored to be looking for it, even though I do have that bias for the sell. But the other dollar pairs are just much clearer in price action in terms of the the setups that it's creating. So when you're filtering these trades, it's important to understand, you know, if the dollar is going to get strength, I think all the dollar pairs will go, but it's just picking the right one at the time, picking the right setup, what it presents to you. Okay. Euro CAD, I'll go over that after, sure. I already did Bitcoin a couple times. Okay, you might have to watch the replay because I do it a few times already. Um, so let's continue. And this is the same reason as why pound yen is really not on my favorite yen pair watch either, because again, all this is just a little bit erratic and very just all over the place really. That I don't really like when the price is behaving this way. Okay, so there's just again better yen pairs in my opinion, looking for that clear kind of sell from the price. Okay. I will cover Kiwi Cat moving up. Guys, some of these are I cover already. That's why I cover a few times. That's why I'm not going over. But it's this is why. Okay, if you stay a couple minutes, I finish all these currency pairs, then I can go back to those crypto really quick. Okay, stay for a few minutes. I'll finish a currency. I'll jump back to those cryptos. So Euro Aussie, some of you guys request Euro Aussie. Certainly, I'll go over it from my higher time frame kind of approach. Um, I like how price did break below this previous bottom now, right? This is pretty clear that we could be forming a continuation from the run. And this is, again, don't have FOMO is that, yes, we break the previous low and, we can likely see this as a strong impulse and this is a strong continuation correction. And we're looking like we're going to continue to the downside. However, this sometimes will trick you, and this is based on experience, is that if we don't get a continuation here, and then price just kind of triggers it's up like this, kind of erratic a little bit, and eventually just push out from this point, and kind of trapping a lot of people in the sell. And this is again waiting for confirmation. Is that can we get a confirmation correction here because we break the previous low, we break all of this overall kind of expanding structure, and looking for a potential continuation to give you that last bit of confluence would be nice. All right. We see this on a higher time frame. This we have seen this like a head and shoulder pattern, and then there's a mini head and shoulder pattern here as well. So waiting for a lower time frame continuation. Right. We have lots of room to the downside. Right. We passed all this level now, which is great. So last bit of confirmation is key to continue the sell. All right. So that's your Aussie. Goal I went over as well. So I'll repeat those when I jump back, guys. Those I all went over in the beginning, that's why. EuroCAD, someone asked about EuroCAD. Um, I remember why I remember. I used to have a few lines here. I know why I removed that now because I didn't like all these kind of erratic price. Before all this, it was looking nice. We had a push down, correction, and it was looking to push down to the lows here. But after all this period started forming, I didn't really like what I'm seeing. I'm not even seeing much of a buy or sell. If you really want to draw a structure, I think this could be the current bull structure, but because this is not really an impulse, right? You want to look for an impulse, correction impulse, whereas all this price action is really not an impulse, in my opinion. It's just kind of correction after correction after correction. So I'm not really seeing a bias here. I don't even want to say that I'm looking for a sell because um, all this is just a little bit too erratic to me. We're just being in too much consolidation. Remember when I said when I trade, I always want to look for when we're in the impulsive phrase rather than the corrective phrase. So this is all corrective phrase to me. I don't like to be stuck in the trade in this area. All right, and that's why I'm not seeing too much here for Euro CAD. So let's move on to Euro Kiwi. Euro Kiwi is another one similar like Euro Aussie. I think most of us are looking for that sell now because we completed potentially the structure. We pushed down from there, and I'm gonna give the same kind of approach like what I went over Euro Aussie is that we're at this bottom now. You see prices potentially reacting to this. This is all too early to speculate, but I would like to see the price break below this previous low or start forming continuation to give you a little bit more bias. Because we can just see price bounce off from this area and we just continue going upside and you're just wondering when that happens. Well, sometimes that's what the market does, right? It's catching a lot of impatient traders. Is although this looks very clear to continue, right? But we're also at this previous low now, and we're also at the lows of this structure, and we can just start reversing back up, and there's nothing wrong with the nature of the structure. We're still in this consolidation. Okay, so looking for a little bit lower time frame confirmation here would be ideal. Okay, correction here would be nice, or a breakout confirmation followed by a correction would be nice as well. Right? So that's Euro Kiwi for me. Certainly, I do have that bias for the sell, and I do want to see price to continue lower. But personally, I don't want to get trapped in something like this. Okay, so that is Euro Kiwi, Kiwi CAD. So Kiwi CAD, some of you guys are interested in Kiwi CAD. I'm certainly interested in Kiwi CAD as well. Um, we're pretty much seeing identical repeatable price action, right? This was the previous pre-recap. We had this ascending channel. We pushed up, there was a lower time frame correction, pushed out of this channel, and there was a continuation correction. I personally got into this sell. I think there was I got up about 3 point something percent. I think I exit somewhere here or somewhere here if I recall. 3.5% in my journal if you guys are interested. Anyways, my point here is price action. We're seeing the exact kind of same thing, right? We're seeing this ascending channel pushing the price up. We're seeing this reversal structure at the top of the overall price action, waiting for price to push out of this ascending channel. Whether we form a continuation here or whether we do something like this, we break out and then form mini correction. Either way, I'm certainly seeing that sell on this one. All right, you're going to see price action repeat over and over again, right? You don't take my word for it. When you backtest yourself, when you look at structures, when you look at how the price behave, when you backtest, right? When you see a price already happen, backtest it and see if you see structure, if you see price action, and slowly and surely, it's going to help you to analyze the market a lot better. Anyways, that's why I see a Kiwi cat. Okay, so either a structure here to continue, or we break out from here and continue lower as well. Either way is a nice sell. Very similar like this sell that we're seeing, and I want to see price to eventually reach this low or continue breakout and continue lower. Okay, so that is Kiwi cat. Last one to go over is Kiwi Swiss. So Kiwi Swiss also looking good. A little bit better than Euro Kiwi, even though they're somewhat correlated, but it has a better price action for that potential reversal. I talked about this since last week. Is that we're still in this overall higher time frame structure. We're at the top now. You can see that price is reacting to the previous top. We had an impulse down and then potentially a larger correction to making. And as price reaches this area, and I mentioned, don't jump into these sell unless we see a little bit more development. This to me is great. We're forming this kind of a rising wedge or ascending channel. And if this can continue either pushing up to this side, to the top of the structure here, and reverse back down would be a first possible entry, or wait for this correction to complete and then push down from it as well. Okay, so those are the two kind of options I see on Kiwi Swiss. All right, any question on these currency pair, guys, before I jump back to some of these cryptos that you guys are asking? So let's talk about a few of these crypto. Some of you guys joined late. I did go over those in the beginning. That's why I couldn't go over right away. But let's go over these. So Bitcoin, like I mentioned, this was the trade that I got in. Clearly, when we broke the 20,000 level at previous high, I waited to see if there's a continuation, and we did get that. First bullish push off, first clear, clean continuation, and that's how I get in. And I mentioned if you're not in Bitcoin, don't jump into any of these nodes because you're just gonna get trapped like some of these moves. What I want to see here on Bitcoin is if we form similar structure here, at least a few swing highs, a few swing lows, that counts as a structure, that counts as a continuation. Then certainly looking for another buy would be ideal here. Okay, so that's what I see on Bitcoin for now. As far as my trade, I already moved my stop loss. First at break even, now I'm at 1-to-1. I'm happy to just stay at 1-to-1 just to see what it will do here. If it forms a deeper correction, if it looks nice, I might consider a scaling entry here because my first trade is already at profit. Second scaling trade, even if it took me out for a loss, I will be at break even anyways. And that's always in my strategy or plan to control my risk tolerance and risk management. So Bitcoin. What else? Ethereum, yes, Ethereum. Well, similar idea like Bitcoin. If you miss the first potential entry, then you want to have to wait for another lower time frame continuation, right? We haven't seen any of that. We're just strongly in a bullish trend. So again, don't jump into these because it's a similar idea like Bitcoin is you're gonna get trapped in some of these kind of pushback where your stop loss are gonna be tight, right? Because you want to get in. You may have FOMO, you may have fear of missing out, and that's how the market punish impatient traders. So wait for at least a continuation like this, something like this that's going to tell you that we can continue. At least that has a better probability than you blindly entering something like this. I personally would wait for something like this or even bigger structure to confirm that we're going to see more upside. Higher time frame, it's good that we break the previous high. This is all good news if we're looking for continuation bullish price action. It's just that you have to understand how the price move. It cannot shoot up in a straight line. That's not how price moves. It will have a push up, which is an impulsive phrase. We'll have a continuation correction phrase. We push up once more, and this is also another continuation correction. Push up once more, another continuation correction. Push up once more, again, looking for continuation correction to push the price. So that's Ethereum. Gold. Yes, gold can go over gold. Go over gold in the beginning. Uh, I do have a bias for gold to continue upwards, but is this now or is it later? Clearly, for me, is waiting for a little bit on the lower time frame to give you that kind of edge. So lower time frame here, we have been pushing up on the lower time frame, which is good, right? This is also a good sign that we could potentially lead to the next bullish move, but breaking above all of the trend line means absolutely nothing to me is how the price continue afterwards. Is it going to continue breaking up and form that first continuation correction to give me that last confluence that this is all the structure that we're going to need to correct all this move and that we are going to be in the next bullish run? Okay, so this is super important for me to confirm my bias for that buy if we get the confirmation here. If not, very likely price is going to, again, punish those impatient buyers trapping. This may continue going up a little bit and then just start crashing down afterwards to the bottom here. And then structurally nothing changes because you understand that this is just an expanding structure of it. Structure is not complete. We push down once more and then pop to the upside afterwards. And you're going to be very emotional because you miss out all this trade because you got a little bit impatient yourself to jump in too early. Okay, so that's gold for me. Certainly seeing the upside in the long-term kind of direction, but confirmation is needed before you continue higher here. So any question on these guys, let me know. Which platform you use to trade crypto? Coinbase. Coinbase and I use in Canada. There is a broker, a crypto broker called BitBuy. It's been like it's been a rising one since. So I also opened one in that as well. Meant to be holding more rather than trading, but trading Coinbase. And for FX, I use Oenda and AxiTrader. If someone else is gonna ask me that, I can only say what I use. I'm not doing any introduction broker, stuff like that. So don't quote me on anything. I can only say the brokers that I have used for years that are good. So I've used Coinbase, that's okay. I use Oanda, I use AxiTrader for FX. Bitrocks, should be okay, but don't quote me on anything. I'm not selling any brokers or introducing you to any brokers. So I would always do your own research when it comes to brokers. Go online, typing down and typing review, right? That's you're gonna steal all the reviews about it. Um, but keep in mind with broker reviews is this. I'll give you my take on broker reviews is that people tend to be negative when it comes to broker reviews. And why are they tend to be negative is usually because they lost money on that brokerage. But they lost money on that brokerage. Is it because the broker made them lose money, or is it them themselves who trade and lost money? Okay, so there's a difference between that. Sometimes the people are just sour when they lose money when they're trading, and they tend to want to blame on someone, right? Um, so that's my take on broker and stuff like that. Okay, make sure you can try it. Most firms will let you open a demo account anyway, so you can try out their platforms and things like that, right? Okay, so any other questions? Oh, I want to go over last. So I went over commodities, I went over crypto, I went over currency. Last I want to go over are the indices. So let's take a look at indices and I'll wrap things up here. Um, Certainly, there's good indices that are shaping up as well. Verge, what is the symbol? Is it just Verge? I'm sorry, I see you type a few times. I didn't get to it. Verge with Bitcoin or Verge with dollar Tether? Which one do you want? Yeah, XVG with you want to pair with Bitcoin, dollar, or what do you want to look at? Bitcoin? Oh, oh, how come I'm getting candles like these? It's weird. Maybe because this is because of the spread, maybe? Okay. First I'm looking at this. This is all I see of it, but maybe because I don't see too much data, but this is all I'm seeing here. We had this push up, but we had this consolidation phrase kind of just pushing the price all the way down. And then we push up once again, but there's really not much here. I wouldn't even classify this as the entry that I would be looking for because I'm not seeing a strong bullish breakout followed by a continuation. This is still a correction, don't get me wrong. It's just that's all I see. I don't see too much here. I don't have too much data. Maybe this is also why um, I don't see too much once I zoom back here. So this is all the data that we're working for, working with. Sorry. Um, if I do want to make a speculation here, is that we having all this consolidation, right? We see all this consolidation, price trying to push up, correct, push up, correct, push up, correct. So it's important to see if we can get strong enough momentum to continue, or is it just going to continue and then just form more correction and moving sideways like this indefinitely? Okay, so to me, there's just better crypto out there than this. Okay, there's just better crypto potential. The ones that I went over are just a little bit clear, a little bit better for that upside because all these are just full on in that bullish um, trend. Whereas the verge that you went over, verge that we just went over is not in that bullish trend, in my opinion. Right, this is clearly in the bullish trend. Right, correction, strong breakout, correction, breakout, correction, breakout. That's why you want to be when you're in the impulsive phase of the market. You don't want to get trapped when price is, consolidation all this period, right? All this period is just consolidation. The trade's not likely to go anywhere. But once the price is in the impulsive phase, you see how fast the market is moving, right? It's moving very fiercely because it's in the impulsive phase. All right. So hope that helped. So let's continue. Let's continue to the indices. Let's wrap it up with indices. So I've been talking about an hour 15. So hopefully it goes to an hour 30 or more around so. Understood. Yeah. Uh, you know, it's not that the trade won't go. Okay, this is what I want everyone to understand is, of course, sometimes the trade will take off, sometimes it will not. It's about finding better probability setup. Like if you're filtering your trade, like let's say when crypto present opportunity, are you going to take every single crypto? Not likely, right? You're going to filter them out. You're going to choose the best available setup because if they're going to go, they're likely to go, all going to go. But if they're going to reverse, they're likely to go reverse as well. So that's why you want to keep your risk at a minimum, right? Filtering out the trades, what has a better probability trade, and you want to go for those kind of setups. I see you use chart patterns to analyze the chart. Is that the only thing you use? Yes. I don't use any indicators, support resistance, Elliott wave, Fibonacci, all those stuff. I don't use any of those. I just use the just simple price action, and that's it. I to be honest, I don't even need the trend lines. I'll be honest, I don't need all these trend lines at all because I can see once you see these enough, you understand. The trend line is just for me to draw the structure when I do these streams or when I when I post analysis. It's easier to draw out the trend line so people know what I'm talking about. But I don't really need the trend line either if I'm just trading by myself. So Aussie 200 here. This is a clearly expanding structure of correctional period that we're in. This last bit of the price is very good, showing us that it's correcting, it's in this ascending channel. And what's good about also is that when we see this strong bullish push to the upside and there's no continuation correction to push the price, instead we're getting a reversal structure. This is very good, is that it's showing you that all this bullish move to the upside is clearly exhausted now. We're getting this period of consolidation. So an impulse, a correction, and then we have a reverse impulse is very likely to happen. Okay, so waiting to see what will happen here. Can we get a breakout from here and then followed by a correction to go down? Or this can correct itself a little bit longer and then still go down afterwards. All right, certainly see the possibility on a lot of these indices I'm willing to touch base on. The Aussie 200, this looks very clean to me. Larger structure and then expansion of that structure, but it's a reversal structure, so there's a potential reversal. And this is the trade that you want to get in. I went over that .USD earlier, actually, so not much I'm seeing on that one, to be honest. Okay. German 30, same idea is we're in this expanding structure and price, this last bit of price is actually within the expanding structure. So also very good. We're at this double top as well before the COVID happened, and price is certainly reacting to this double top area. All right. So what I would do, there's a few options, of course. Then again, depending on your risk tolerance and what you want to see. If this can push down more and then form a continuation, certainly this will be the first entry to go down. Or if you want to be a little bit more cautious, you know that we have lots of room to the downside, we could potentially even break below. Then wait for price eventually breaks below the structure and then look for continuation is also valid, in my opinion. It's just again safer entry, riskier entries. Riskier entries, more reward. Safer entry, less reward. Right? That's how trading is, guys. There's no perfect way, perfect entry, whatever. You want to take a riskier entry, the reward is better. You want to take a safer entry, reward is less, right? Euro 50, very similar like German 30 or DAX. Expanding structure, we're also expanding in this area. So as long as price is within this larger expanding structure, anything can happen, but I still have a bias for the sell. When this correction is finished, when we see a push down by a correction after, certainly do see this to reverse back to the low. Again, impulse, reversal correction, impulse down. All the time analysis the way looks simple. Yeah. I mean, I try to keep things very simple, guys. Some of the charts people have too many lines going across or indicators going around or whatever, and then indicators on the bottom. I think it's just too crowded for me personally. I'm sure those strategy can work out in their respective right. You know, people obviously are profitable in trading in different area. But I personally just like to trade this way. It's just much more clear. Once you understand this is how I call the nature of how the price moves, you understand that price is always going to be correction, there's always going to be impulsive, then it's just easier to look at the market this way. So Nasdaq, we had this expanding structure. We push up to the upside, and again, there's a rising wedge drive. We are seeing a potential reversal structure. This is very good now. We've been talking about this for a while. As the price continued to break above, this is the previous high. Did we break it above, impulsively to push up, or did we break it correctively? To me, this is a corrective breakout. This is how trade market tend to trap a lot of traders. Again, impatient traders trying to jump in because they think we're going to, we break the previous high, we're at all-time high now, we're just going to continue to the upside, and suddenly price forms a reversal structure and then push down. Before you know it, we're right back into the structure, and all these buys are getting taken out. Okay, so that's what I see on Nasdaq here. Okay, it's this is even though we already recovered all this pushing up, but this is nevertheless still in this period of consolidation, right? We're still in the structure here. Structurally, still makes sense for a reversal move to the downside. All right. Do trade stocks? I do trade stock. I mean, I do invest in stocks, if that's a better way to put it. Trading would be, you buy and sell, right, within a time. I think that everyone would agree. But for investing stocks, like if I was to invest, like Nike, for example, I do have stocks in Nike, like an investment. I'm holding it for a longer term, right? Because to me, stocks, I don't want to day trade stocks, but I would rather uh, invest stock, right? I remember this is the buy I was in from Nike, but I'm just holding it because I'm investing the stock, right? I'm not trading the stock. Of course, people day trade stocks or trade options, whatever. That's within their side, but personally, I don't like to. I think I have enough exposure to the market as it is to like trading forex, trading currency, crypto, and things like that. I don't need to expose myself more to more risk, so to speak. What broker do I use? I use Coinbase for crypto. I use Oranda and AxiTrader for Forex. For equities and things like that, I use my, because I'm investing, so I don't really care. I don't need a stock broker. I use my local bank. This is TD Canada Trust. This is a Canadian bank. Those of you who are in Canada would know. I just use their warehouse to invest in stocks because I'm not looking to trade. So I'm not. I don't need to have a like a Robinhood or something like that to trade stocks. I don't really need to. So Singapore 30. Um, I appreciate you're amazing. Do you go live daily? I don't go live daily, but I try to do 3 times the stream per week. Okay, I update all that in my Telegram. By the way, is all of my streams I'll pre set up a time so make sure so at least people can know ahead of time. I try to do a weekly outlook when market opens, and then I'll try to do 2 daily outlooks throughout the week, and then I'll do periodic updates during there. That's only my Telegram. That's if you're interested. I explain everything I do every week. I try to provide as much value, free information as I can to everyone. So Singapore 30, talk about this every time for the last few weeks already is that I like how we had this push down, we had this larger structure in the making, a clear double top right here. And then price had this lower time frame push down, which is great, and then potentially a lower time frame correction, lower time frame continuation correction to be exact. And I mentioned I want to look for a completion of the structure and then a lower time frame correction to push the price lower. There's a lot of room to the downside. You don't need to get trapped in here, having FOMO, fear of missing out, because this can move down here and just move up once more and just indefinitely move like this. We've seen this in the past, right? Originally, you can see this could be a potential structure, price then push down and then just kind of peg slowly moving up to this top side and then trickles down once more. So anything can happen. That's why waiting for confirmation, right? Waiting for confirmation breakout, confirmation correction to go. Okay, your job as a trader is to consistently get into trades and then consistently taking profit and then consistently compound your account, right? You're not trying to do a one-hit wonder where you know you jump into a trade and then you make massive money and you quit trading. That's not how trading works, guys. Unfortunately, that's how the social media portrays it, but that's not how trading is. Okay. So sorry, I'm reading what you guys are saying. Uh, Salute from New York, brother. What tips can you give to a new trader? I want to learn structure. You talk about like your videos. Personally, you can look at a lot of free analysts on TradingView, right? There's a lot of TradingView things. I mean, there's a lot of posts on TradingView. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, right? It's all free. So certainly you don't need to pay someone right away. I think there's a lot of free information online that you can take advantage of, right? I personally post many analysis, educational video, live streams all the time on my channel, so you can take a look at those. But personally, there's so many information out there that we can learn from, right? Yeah, my Telegram is all in here, guys. If those of you guys are interested in the, just scroll down your screen if you can't see it, but it's here. I'll type it here if you guys are interested. Can I give idea on pound dollar? I don't like pound dollar. I talked about this a few weeks, right? Because I don't like how price is just consolidated in this period. Okay, and it's just that I don't like it when I don't see a clear impulsive phrase that are going to happen. I see this as just a pure consolidation phrase. Uh, this can just drag on indefinitely. Sure, there's going to be some sales here, right? There's some sales in this area, but I just don't want to get trapped into a consolidation phrase. I talk about this many times. Is when the price is moving, I want to be in the impulsive phrase because the trade is going to be highly probable and are likely to work out better. Whereas when we're in this consolidation phrase, the trade is moving up and down. I don't want to get emotional when it is, right? When you trade, you hate to see profit go down and profit go. I'm sure that's the same for everybody. But the key is like when you trade bigger account or when you're just trading more and more into the years, you hate to see profit comes and profit go, right? You want to be in the impulsive phrase so that we can expect to push down and then we can expect to take profit. But in the consolidation phrase, there's really not much to be able to capitalize on. Does price action also work on short period of time, like 1 hour or 30 minutes? Here's the truth about price action is price action will work on any market, any time frame. Okay, and don't just take my word for it. When you do backtest yourself, you understand that is how the price moves. When you fully understand that, doesn't matter what time frame you're looking at, doesn't matter what market you're looking at. That is how the price moves, right? You talk 5 minute, 1 minute, it really doesn't matter, right? You're going to see how price move regardless of which time frame that you're in, right? In a let's just say in a daily move, let's say in a daily move like this that's happened COVID, right? You can clearly tell that this is an impulsive phrase of the market. There's no question about it, right? This is a correction phrase from the market, no question about that. We have a correction building up, we have a strong impulse down. That's on the daily, which is higher time frame. It doesn't matter if you go on a weekly. It's the same idea here. But when you go down to lower time frame, when you go down to like 1 hour, um, or when you go down to a smaller time frame, you understand that when price is pushing down like this on the daily, even though it's just one big impulse, certainly on the 5 minute or 15 minute, you're just going to see many impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction to push the price down. All this, even though we can't see it right now because I'm in the 1 hour, if we go into the 5 minutes, you're going to see the same price action moving down because that's how the price moves. Okay, so I hope that delivers that message there. If you're not sure, make sure you watch some of my video on this because that will explain a little bit better on price action itself. Let's continue. I did go over Nasdaq just now, right? I did, yeah. Continue. I want to learn from you for sure. You make it easy to digest. Good, good. Hopefully, you like these contents. I'm trying to make it more simplified so people can understand. Euro dollar went over that. Looking to see if we can get that breakout from the price. Right. There's a few options. Again, is either price break below this ascending channel and then form continuation to push down, or we can see another push up to the price and then reversal price action push down. But certainly looking for the sell here on euro dollar. Pretty much on all these dollar pairs I'm looking at. Aussie dollar is one. Kiwi dollar is another one as well. They're all pretty much shaping. Like I said, this could be a first entry that it's about to shape up, or you want to wait for that breakout from there is also valid as well. I think all other Aussie pairs are pretty much all shaping up here. And Euro, CAD, yen, yeah, they're all pretty much dropping now, right? So if you're looking for sells here, they're going to happen now. Do you analyze in all time frames? Well, I analyze multi time frame, meaning that I'm always going to have a top down approach on any of the trades I'm looking at. Okay, so I always start from a higher time frame. So it doesn't really matter daily, weekly, monthly. They're all gonna be telling you the same. But what I mean by higher time frame is just a higher time frame approach when you're looking at the price. When you zoom in and zoom out, this to me is higher time frame enough. I don't need to really go on monthly or weekly. The only difference you're going to see is just less candlestick, right? But the overall price action is the same. So on the daily here on S&P, I personally is looking for a sell bias, right? I have a sell bias on most of the indices. So this is what we're seeing. We have a larger kind of expanding structure, and at the end of the piece, we're seeing this ascending channel formation in the making. Right? Have we seen it in the past? Absolutely, right? We've seen these over and over again in the price. When price move in this ascending channel structure, right? Longer period consolidation, do we always get the impulsive phrase? Very often. So no difference here, in my opinion. Okay, it's just whether it's ready today, tomorrow, next week. It doesn't matter. When price is doing this, no one will know that it's dropping, right? This is continue for the price to go all-time high, and people keep buying, and then coronavirus happened and just collapse, right? So we wouldn't. Most people who are buying here wouldn't know that this is happening. Right? No one would expect this was happening. No one expect this sell-off is happening. But when you do back testing, when you look back at the market, when you work on your chart work, you're just going to see the same thing happens all the time, right? Nothing will change ever, because that's just how the price moves, right? That's the best way to summarize this. So that's my bias on a higher time frame. So when I go down to the lower time frame, what I look for is confirmation. I talk about lower time frame is always good to look for confirmation and entries, because on the higher time frame, when you look for a sell here, when you put in a swing kind of sell, you might not make too much profit. Of course, it's safer, and you put yourself at a better position to be entering these positions because your stop loss is wide. You're not likely to get pegged out in this sense. But if you truly understand what the higher time frame is about to do, and you go down to the lower time frame to look for the potential entries, your risk reward is just going to be quantified, right? Because you're already forecasting the higher time frame to move down, and you go down to the lower time frame to look for confirmation that your stop loss is not squeezing the stop loss, is more like your stop loss is relevant to this entry, but understanding the higher time frame move, then you're just going to maximize your reward every time. Okay, but people who trade tend to take advantage. Don't. What I'm trying to say is they don't fully understand. They go down to the short time frame. They go down to the low time frame because they're trying to get rich quick. Okay, they're trying to enter a very big lot position with a very tight stop loss in hope the price will start dropping like this and they're gonna make like 20 times the money. And that's usually when the trade doesn't work out for them and they take them out and then they're just gonna keep taking out once more and more. Right. So there's a difference between doing that then versus understanding from my personal perspective is higher time frame, multi time frame analysis, going down to lower time frame, looking for possible entries. That's going to give you a better risk reward. Okay. So S&P, sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked here, but S&P, like I said, I like we're in this ascending channel. My confirmation is waiting for price to break out from here and then followed by a continuation to push down. Okay, and at least to the lows of this structure, if not continue all the way to the bottom here. Once this structure is over, right? This is very key here is we can just see this continue drag on longer and longer and then still drop afterwards when it's ready. All right, so that's S&P 500. Last two I want to go over. This is Russell 2000. Uh, Sorry, I missed what I just joined. Why do you think it will go bearish when it comes to from bullish move? Which one are you talking about? Sorry, I missed this. Y Cohen. Sorry, I can't read your YKOHEN. Um, it's about the if you're talking about S&P, really this is a bullish move. Yes, you're right, but do we have continuation to continue our higher, or are we just seeing a more of a corrective kind of phrase, right? This is clearly a corrective phrase, right? This is an impulsive phrase, right? This is impulsive phrase, but this what we're seeing here is a corrective phrase. There's no question about it. There's no continuation here. This is looking more as a reversal correction to reverse all this price here. Okay, so this is just comes to me from my experience. Not I'm not guessing it. It's just when you do enough back testing, when you see the market enough, you're gonna see this over and over again in the market. Okay. Um, I'm new in this, and from today you're my mentor. I appreciate that. Just make sure you follow me on Telegram. That's where I provide all my information. Let me finish these two. I'll go over those questions, guys. I know there's a lot of question here. Let me finish these last two. Okay, I'll answer all these questions, guys. So US 2000, so Russell 2000. Similar approach as what I did from the other indices, right? What I'm seeing here is we have this kind of parallel channel. Price popped to the upside, was thinking that this is going to be a bullish move. To me, this is not. This is again ascending channel, corrective price action. Sure, it's moving up, but is it moving up impulsively like what we have seen in the past? This is an impulsive move. This is an impulsive move, right? This all big piece is an impulsive move. This to me is not. Okay, there's a difference between them. So what I'm seeing here is the ascending channel. We're at the top of the structure now. We're potentially seeing this head and shoulder pattern. If we get this breakout followed by a correction to push down, I certainly do see this as that big reversal on the higher time frame. We broke previous high before COVID dropped. We broke it, but we just have been in this consolidation since. And it's the same approach is when you when you see all this consolidation phrase, price is just building up for that momentum for that reversal. And when a reversal happens, it's always going to be fast and furious. If you look at all the times when price happens, you're always going to see fast momentum when it reverses, right? It's always got to be at the top of the overall price action. And when it reverses, it's going to reverse very strong and hard. Okay, so same idea here we're seeing, right? When COVID happens, we reverse very hard. we're seeing similar kind of things again. All right. Last one, US 30, so Dow Jones. So Dow Jones, again, double top here. We're still reacting to this double top. Every time I talk about this, I said, as this structure continue to go, the more likely we're going to see a reversal. This is no longer a continuation. We want to see continuation structure. If you're going to see a buy from here, and then to continue upwards, it has to form continuation, right? This is a continuation. This is a continuation. This is not a continuation, right? This is totally different than the previous structure that I'm pointing out here, okay? And that's why you have to be able to identify structures like this. Okay, this is not a continuation. This is a ascending channel reversal, and we're getting similar structure here. We're just in a bigger ascending channel than the previous one, but we're just getting better price action now because we have a double top here. We have this uh, smaller ascending channel in the larger ascending channel. Okay, and the longer this channel corrects, the better we can see that potential reversal. Okay, so that is all the indices I'm looking at. Any question on the indices before I jump back to some of these questions that's on here? I love that artwork on your wall. Super dope and inspiring. Absolutely. This is my always my approach on trading, and I want to emphasize this is that I've never in one of my videos or analysis or anything that I talk about trading is easy. I never think trading is easy. It's still today, even though I've been trading 8 years. I never think trading is easy at all, and I can't blame people who thought trading was easy or easy to make money because of social media, of what people tell them. Social media, again, a lot of things are not real, right? And unfortunately, we're in this era where Instagram, Facebook are everywhere. You can see things are just on the blink of your eye. And there's a lot of information that is funneled to you that are not true or not correct, or simply they just want to show you what they want to show you. Okay, and I can obviously change that, but what I can do is continue to be transparent and honest with everything I do, everything in my channel, everything in my group, because I'm trying to demonstrate a community that this is how trading is. It's not easy, but if you're willing to put in the time and effort, you can do it in time, right? Everyone learns differently, everyone understands things differently. Um, but at the end of the day, no one is going to no one's going to trade your account for you, not likely. No one's going to hold your hands while you trade. It's at the end, you are trading yourself and you're the one who's executing the trades. So it's all about continuously making yourself a better trader. You have to put in the time, you have to work hard, and you have to make mistakes. You have to pretty much lose money in trading. I'm dead serious when I say this. You have to lose money in trading in order for you to learn. Um, you can see, you can watch other people trade, you can go through different programs, whatever, but at the end of the day, you need to trade and you need to literally lose money so you learn your mistakes, right? People can explain trading, like let's say I'm explaining trading quite simply, but when someone trade, when they go through that psychological emotion and swing, that's something you just have to personally experience for you to understand. You just simply, there's no way around it. Your head doesn't suddenly acknowledge that's how trading is, by just reading a book, right? You just have to continuously do chart work. You have to enter trades. You have to journal things. You have to work very hard on your emotion, things like that. That's how one can be more successful in others. Okay. I hope that really passed on a good message here because that is exactly the message intended for those who are looking for consistency trading, right? If you're trading, then you're trading for the next, 30 years. You're not trading to trade for 1 year and thinking you will make millions and quit trading. That's really not how trading is, guys. And I hope that's something that you guys understand is that if you're going to be a trader, consistent trader, you want to do this for the next 30, 40 years. All right. So the first couple years, you're going to go through a lot of obstacles, a lot of negative things, a lot of things that you are not prepared for. Your mind is certainly not prepared for all this emotion drama that you're about to receive. But if you can fight against that. You can, if you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do this for the next 30, 40 years. So what is it the first 3 years of learning, right? What is it the first 3 years that you make mistake on? What matters, right? You don't think doctors who go through university, or I mean, doctorate degree for 8 to 10 years, you don't think they think that way, right? They know they're gonna go through school for the next 8 to 10 years, and then they're gonna be a physician, a doctor, and they're gonna make good money. But do they give up on the first year, second year, or third year? No, right? Because they continue to go. They know that if I put in 8 to 10 years of study to practice medicine, I'm gonna be very wealthy within my right. And that's why they do it. Okay, and every profession, every business is exactly the same, guys. All right, trading is really no difference when it comes to things like this, and that's why I hope this message pass on this correctly to those of you guys who are watching me, because that's exactly what I'm trying to say. All right. Sorry, I got lost track here. Ripple, not much, guys. I talked about Ripple already. I don't like Ripple, because we had all this push down already. I'm not interested in the buy or sell at this moment anymore. Was interested in the buy. I got into one of the buy, but I took a loss here, and price collapsed down after all this Ripple news events. So we're right back to the previous kind of area before we take off. So really, nothing is going to interest me in this area for Ripple. Okay, certainly something can build up in the future, but as this moment, I don't really see much on this. Okay. Euro dollar went over many times. I'll go over again. Euro dollar, looking to see what the price will do. This is pretty much the last bit of the price action now. We're seeing price is at the very top. What I want to see here is a couple options. Can we see a correction here to push down, followed by another correction? So this correction is finished. That's one way of seeing this. Or price can bounce back from here to the top and then look for reversal from the top here. Either way, I'm looking for a potential reversal from the price. We have been moving up in this ascending channel. We have this little ascending channel within the larger ascending channel, and we're in the higher time frame kind of expanding structure as well, correctingly moving up. Okay, so it's the same as every single dollar I'm seeing this right now. I think these are all good sells right here. If you guys are looking for sells, this is certainly a first sell already. Kiwi dollar here, certainly another sell here as well. Um, so it all depends on your risk tolerance, if you like these entries or you're looking for a little bit more confirmation. But these ones are looking great, like I said, and all the Aussie ones are looking pretty good as well for that potential move to the downside. And looks like all the yen pairs are moving as well. Corn. Sure. Do I have corn? Yeah. So this is what I see on corn higher time frame. Even though this could be that swing high top, but look how price kind of impulsively break above that, and we're impulsively at the top of this trend line now. Again, that doesn't mean that this will continue to take off. It's just that you have to see the market as how it is that we have been moving up pretty impulsively already. So naturally, it's looking for continuation. But on the higher time frame, there is a tendency that we could see this as just a bearish impulse move, and this is just a larger continuation correction. We're right back at the top of the correction now. Can we get reversal here in the upcoming days to see a lower time frame reversal and push down from this? That's certainly a possibility. Okay, and but because of this move push up is so fierce, I'm kind of having conflicting bias when it comes to something like this, and I'm not leaning towards one side yet. And when that happens, I usually try to stay away. Right? You don't need to guess. So it doesn't mean every pair we look at, we have to come to a conclusion that this is going up or this is going down. If you're not too sure if you can make an argument both way, then it's best to just stay out of this and wait for one bias is leaning towards the other one more. Okay, meaning that if I'm seeing on the lower time frame that we start seeing some sort of reversal price action, we then push down followed by a continuation correction. After seeing all this, then I'd be looking to see if we can get a full-on higher time frame reversal. But if I don't get that, if price just continue pushing up and then form continuation, then looking for continuation long, right? You don't have to be. This is what I think about. A lot of new traders get a little bit emotion when it's they think they have to be right, meaning that they have to make a bias. Let's say someone is like, okay, I think this is going up, and then if there's something going down, that trader feels like they're embarrassed or they feel like their analysis is wrong and they feel defeated. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that is how trading is. I'm wrong a lot of times on my forecast, but when I'm wrong on the forecast, I don't enter that trade. So it's about your perspective. If I don't enter a trade and I save capital, so that's all good to me, right? But the other people can look at it as, oh, my analysis was wrong, my forecast was wrong, I must be bad at trading. No, okay, it's again your perspective when it comes to trading. It's that simple, guys, right? I can be wrong on my forecast. That means I'm wrong on a forecast because the potential setup didn't happen, and then that didn't happen, so that I move on to another trade to be able to capitalize on it, and I just let this trade. I leave the trade out, right? It's simple as that. So work on your emotion when it comes to trading. Okay, so that's corn. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Uh, Sometimes it's difficult to find the proper education. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate respect and the acknowledgement from me. But like I said, my style may not be suitable for everybody, right? Maybe there's naturally traders coming in, they want to make more money. Certainly my style trading certainly won't be trying to earn like 20-30% on what you see on Instagram, social media. But I'm trying to provide a consistent approach, right? It's about consistent when it comes to trading. Those of them who show you how they, make maximize profit, it may work out on a smaller account, it may work out on a short term, but does it work out on a large size account or a long-term perspective? Right? Usually when you ask that, um, that's the question to ask is, can you be sustainable and can you be scalable when it comes to trading? Can you continuously take, 20-30 position in one trade? On a larger scale account without thinking about risk management? I don't think so. But when you have $100 account or a couple $100 account and you want to take so many positions in once because $100 is really not much to certain people, then they don't have that fear or they don't have that mindset that they're gonna lose $100 doesn't hurt them. But when you have $100,000 account, you want to take 20 positions on one pair, potentially losing 20-30% of your account. I don't think anybody would want to suffer that kind of risk tolerance or risk emotion, right? ADA USD. I think this is already kind of taking off, right? If you're looking for something, this is clearly a bullish push off followed by a structure here, and we push up once more. This is clearly a continuation, right? This is clearly a correction after breakout that I talk about in my entries. So I don't see. I think you might be a little bit late, unless you're in. I'm not sure, but this trade is already kind of taking off, right? But I like how the tendency of the price is very clear here. We have an impulse, we have a correction, we push up once more, another correction to push up more. So certainly, if you're in the trade, certainly holding it would be ideal in this case. Uh, is Forex more profitable than stock trading? Uh, I think the question, my answer here is my answer would be Forex has better opportunities because a few things. Well, first thing would be the market is open 24 hours, 5 days a week, right? So it goes with everybody's time schedule, whatever you are in the world. Whereas this, if you're trading stock, if you're trading US stocks, then you're stuck with the New York time, right? You're stuck with that 9:30 till 4 time where you just have to go with their schedule. That's probably the first thing I would say. Second thing is I would say forex market uh, is much bigger, right? So there's a lot more liquidity. You can always enter exit trades, things like that. The forex market is just a much bigger market to trade, right? Unfortunate thing for forex is there's pretty much no barriers for people to trade. Do you understand what I mean? Is anybody who have zero trading knowledge can open a trading account and start trading, and then when they lose money, they can say it's, you know, they're not blaming themselves, right? So you get a lot of negative, I guess, negative news on as a forex trader, because a lot of people lose money in forex and they'll blame the market or they'll blame the brokers or blame something, right? Because let's face it, we're human beings. Humans like to not admit their mistakes. They like to blame things. Okay, myself included. Everybody understand what I mean is when we made something mistake, the first thing we want to look for is someone else to take the blame, right? And that's just a tendency of human. But is it their strategy or is it their entries? Is it their risk management? Is it because of their revenge trading? Well, they will never admit that, right? So third thing I want to talk about is leverage, right? Because leverage can work well for you or against you, because that is how leverage works. And a lot of beginner traders, when they trade forex, they have no idea how leverage works. They think, oh my god, I can open a huge position, and then they open a 10-20% position and they got stop out, and they think it's scam. I mean, come on, like you not being knowledgeable to trading doesn't mean the market itself is a scam, right? Like so that's the difference is you can potentially trade a bigger size position as long as you have good risk management, right? I don't think stock trading offers you that much leverage, depending on brokers. I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on that. But stock trading certainly don't have as much leverage that a forex broker will offer you. But this is also because forex moves very slow, right? We're looking at pips, which is the fourth decimal. So really, if you move 100 pip, you only move 1 cent, right? So if you only move 1 cent, not much is moving. So you really need leverage to leverage that position. Okay. Are you swing trader or intraday trader? I am more, I guess you can say day trading. Like I'm not scalping. Don't get me wrong. What I mean by that is because I'm emphasizing on higher time frame analysis or multi-time frame analysis. I'll always look at higher time frame approach. So my higher time frame, let's say my bias is a buy. I will go down to lower time frame, look for possible price action analysis or action to capitalize on it. So I'm more of a hybrid, so to speak. I'm not really sure how to classify that, but I'm definitely not a swing trading, because swing trading would be like, entering on a higher time frame and hold for weeks or whatever. Um, I certainly don't see myself being a swing trading kind of person. That's exactly right, Reggie. 90% of the traders lose. I want to say 95% of the traders lose, unfortunately. That is a fact. So no need to lie to you guys about it. I think that is a fact. 95% traders lose within 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever the statistic is. And by I honestly think it's because the lack of knowledge, lack of experience, and falsely understood what trading is. Right? You see people, you open YouTube. Once you search the word trading, you're gonna get all these trading advertisement on YouTube, right, guys? I don't think I'm saying much difference here. If you start looking at trading videos, you're gonna see so many of these YouTube ads targeting you to, buy some course or whatever, right? So that's just how it is. And then whatever those courses work or not, I'm not here to speculate. It's more like they tend to make trading very easy, right? You tend to see those ads. It's always going to tell you trading is easy, or they make so much money. They have cars or house or whatever the case may be. All they point to do is they're trying to sell you an image, and people buy into that. Unfortunately, it's just very good marketing and advertising way. Is that you're using people's emotion against them, right? People love instant gratification, meaning that I want instantly money, like it's like buying the lottery. Buying the lottery, winning the money is great, but how likely are you going to win the lottery, right? 1 in 13 million or something for a regular six-number lottery. But people love instant gratification. People always want to get the result without putting in the uh, without putting in the work, really, right? People love to jump to conclusion without actually understanding what the concept of everything is, right? And that's what I keep trying to tell everyone. That's just the fact, right? Uh, in which time frame you enter the trade? Do you suggest good channel in YouTube? Um, I use multi time frame, meaning that I would alter, like I said, I use higher time frame to understand what my bias is for what the market is likely to do, and I will go to the lower time frame. So a lower time frame to me is anything under 4 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. It really doesn't matter. The point is I'm looking for a entry on the lower time frame. Doesn't matter which time frame I'm in. So for example, if I go on to the 15-minute, this is the first entry, this can be the second entry, this is the third entry, right? These are all correction after breakout. This is one of the entry I talk about in my ebook all the time is correction after breakout. It's just always going to happen after a larger structure finish. Right? So all these are potential entries in my opinion when it comes to a bullish move, when it comes to when the price is in a bullish impulsive phase of the market. Um, do you suggest good channel? I want to suggest myself if you like that. I do have a channel on YouTube if you're interested. I pretty much post all my work on YouTube and TradingView. So if you're interested, look at those. Here is the channel if you're interested. So you type my name, Aries Trading. I categorize all my videos. So go to playlist. You can see, price action, trading psychology, risk management, things like that. If you're interested, you can find out more. In my channel, I post all update regularly. This is where I post all my streams link, right? All my educational videos, things like that. I'll post regularly on my analysis, on the trades that I'm in, things like that. That's how we're going to grow, right? That's how I can provide as much value to everyone. I Many people ask me signal and stuff. I would never do signal. I'll just be honest with that. I would never do signal ever, because that's not how you learn as a trader. Unfortunately, I have nothing against people who offer that, but the point is you're not going to learn if you just follow other people's signal because at the end of the day, you don't know why you enter or why you exit. You don't know their rational decision behind. Even if you do sometimes the moment you don't follow their signal and then your trade works out against you or with you, then you start deviating from his signal and eventually you won't follow that signal anymore. But after all that, did you learn something from trading or did you get improvement? No, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't. There's not much engagement when it comes to this type of trading. All right. How do you find the ebook? Check my link. You have to private message me to get the ebook. I was giving out the ebook before till the end of 2020, but you were just a few days late. I'm sorry. So, how much will you say you can make for the day week if you start with 150? I'm not gonna lie to you, not much. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you have 150, you're not gonna make too much in trading. Um, but of course, you're gonna see other people telling you differently because they're gonna say, "Buy my strategy, buy my lesson. Your 150 will turn into 1,000." But honestly, it's not because whoever tells you that is going to tell you to risk a lot per trade, right? You're gonna risk 5%, 10% potentially to be in a trade, and you're just likely to blow your account off. Okay, so really, what you should do is start demo trading, start working on your trading, start journaling, and save up a bigger account, at least 1,000 or so US dollar, and then open an account like that, right? Smaller account, what it does is it creates frustration in you because you a trader is always trying to maximize their money or trying to double their money, but what they end up is they're just going to blow their account in no time. Okay, so I'm afraid to say it that way, but that's the truth here. How many times do you trade the same pair in a day? I don't. I'm gonna be honest, I trade probably 10 trades per month. 10 trades per month. That's what I do, or try to limit myself in that situation. So certainly not taking same position on the same pair in the same day, so to speak. Uh, which time frame you enter your trade? Any lower time frame I mentioned. Higher time frame, I have a bias. Lower time frame, anything under 4 hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. It all depends on what the structure is telling you. See, 1 hour, the structure looks like this. You go down to the 15 minutes, it looks like this, but there's nothing different. It's just more candlesticks and more candles now because we're in a quarter of an hour. So there's just a quarter more, I mean, 4 times more candles. That's the only difference of it. So whether you enter the trade on 1 hour, whether you enter the trade at 15 minutes, really the same. It's all about what the lower time frame price action or structure is doing. I guess yeah, exactly. For example, your setup is on 4 hour, but you enter trade in a 15-minute time frame. Yeah, that's exactly how you put it. So, any other question, guys? Any other question? I've been going. I like these questions. This is a longer stream than I usually do. Usually finish about an hour and a half or so, but I like the questions. I like the interaction. So I'm happy to answer these questions. Um, what do you think about daily? Of daily higher time frame, right? Of course, I'm gonna consider daily because that's always where I have my bias on, and then go to lower time frame. This may be too in depth for you. I think you mentioned you're new, so you might not hear the term multi-time frame analysis a lot, but that's what I do. This is my ebook for free, not anymore. I apologize. I was giving out them before for the Christmas till 2020, so there's a couple hundred of them got it, but you are late. I'm sorry. Do you take trade in uptrend consolidation? I think what you meant is upside uptrend like corrections. This is the uptrend, right? This is the uptrend, and this is a consolidation, right? This is the uptrend. This is consolidation. Is that what you meant? Of course, I would look for a buy or sell depending on what the price is telling me, right? Why do you choose to enter with the breakout instead of reversal entry on Bitcoin? Good question. Um, just preference, really. Just because the reversal side could work out, but I was just wanting to see a little bit more development. That's all. Of course, if I enter reversal, probably a way better risk reward. I'd be much more profit. But I'm fine trying to protect a trade. I'm fine waiting for a little bit that last confirmation. I'm fine with the wider stop loss. When it comes to something like this for Bitcoin, I'm happy to take a wide. I think 1600 is pretty big stop loss for Bitcoin, but I'm fine with this with something like this. Can you do charts SPCE? Is this the only one? I only have Ethereum, or am I wrong here? Is this the only option here, or is there? Are you talking about stock or are you talking about crypto? I'm confused. Coco, are you talking about stock or are you talking about crypto? Personally, I'm seeing this as a potential sell right away. You have an impulse up and you have a reversal impulse down, and then you begin to form this larger, deeper correction, um, a potential completion of the structure, where we can see this reversal down afterwards. That's all I see for now, but nothing here yet. I want to see breakout confirmation sell down to the lows here. That's how I'm looking to sell something like this, or at least my bias is the sell here. Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie mentioned this, last week, is that it's good that we break the previous low. We break the previous low pretty impulsively. So the only thing I want to look for is a confirmation now, right? If we just zoom out here on the higher time frame, if this is a continuation correction for this move, then we're likely to see more move to the downside. But we have seen these kind of move where price just pop below all this low and then start consolidating, kind of moving up in this fashion, and then turn into something like this and just falls on, turn into a bullish move. So waiting for confirmation here. I want to see a correction here to kind of give us that this can be a continuation. We're going to reverse, or um, if we're going to start seeing lower time frame kind of bullish move, kind of bullish reversal, then I'm not going to be looking for short, right? Because I have seen this a lot, similar like Euro Kiwi, we're at this previous low now, right? And if price couldn't break this previous low to continue, then we can see a reversal from this point forward. I have seen this a lot where the market tends to trap people. This looks clear. We push down. We're at the bottom of the structure now. Looks like a continuation. But price didn't break the previous low, and then we're at the bottom of this overall structure now, and price can just reverse back up from this point forward. So last bit of confirmation on the lower time frame would be ideal. Either a continuation here or a breakout continuation. It's the same. Like I said, same thing with Euro Aussie in this sense. Uh, So any other question, guys? Any other question? It's 2 hours now, so likely to wrap up the stream here. Um, any question, guys? You can ask me in Telegram. You can ask me in my group chat channel. Have we? This is what the community is built for. It's maybe there's some questions that other guys knows. You can ask them in there. They're happy to answer that, right? And if you want more of my content, join my Telegram, join my TradingView, or join my YouTube. This is where I provide all those information. So if you're interested, let me know. And I will chat with you guys all next time. All right. So I will make another daily outlook, likely in the New York session or the Asia session on Tuesday. So keep in mind in my Telegram, that's where I post all the links to those. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your help. I mean, not help. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the feedback from everyone. Check out all my links on here if you're interested. And chat with you guys next time. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone.